And welcome back here to Hallmark Sports Club 2, 8328 Colorado Street, Maryville/Hobart, as we continue on. And speaking of Hobart, we're going to bring on the Brickies here. And before we do so, we have to plug our publication, which is just fresh, hot off the press. Once a Brickie, always a Brickie. And that's the story of Hobart football, a history, not only a publication, but also we're going to have a DVD that's going to be released as well. And Adam, you can give us the particulars on how folks can order that publication.
Yeah, you can log on to HobartBrickieFootball.com, the football team's homepage, as a link on the homepage to pre-order any magazines, any publications and DVDs. The book and the DVD together, $35.99. It'll be released officially on the 21st of August. That's the first football game of the season over at the Brickyard. We will have Paul Condry and Pete Cortez, who did the artwork in the book, and signing some copies. And if you want a signed copy from Paul, you can just give him an email at pcondry@rrsn.com.
We're going to continue on with Brickie tradition right now. We're going to bring on Sarah Gorley right now. She's the new soccer coach over at Hobart High School. And Sarah, a longtime assistant over there. And let's talk about the transition now of going from the assistant coach role to the top spot with the girls program at Hobart.
I just took over the program this year, and I think we're making some changes to the formations, stuff like that. A lot more responsibility being a head coach than an assistant. So I'm just trying to get all my stuff together and organized, figure out what we're going to do for the season.
What's been the hardest thing so far? Probably just the administrative part of it, right? Just getting organized and everything.
Just a lot of stuff you don't realize as an assistant that goes into organizing everything, and the administrative stuff is. What
are some of the things that you learned from Colleen working for her?
Actually, a lot. Colleen had a lot of experience as a coach. She was 15-plus years as an assistant and or head coach at different schools. So just organizing practices was big, and how to motivate the girls, different drills and things, ways to talk to the girls that help get them on board.
Is what I would imagine one of the more difficult things is you've got 25 or 30 different personalities sometimes and how they react to different ways of coaching. How have you been able to handle that situation?
You just try to get to know the girls and how they motivate. They definitely have different buttons to push to get them to do what they need to do and what you want them to do, I guess. But you just get to know them, try to figure them out as best as you can.
What are some of the strengths that you feel that you bring to the table to work with student athletes over at Hobart and not only make them successful on the field but in the classroom as well?
I just feel like I have a very, I guess you'd call it an open door policy. I try to include them as much as possible in both the decision making as well as sort of explain to them what my thought process is on things. I'm very inclusive when it comes to that.
I think the student athletes will certainly appreciate that, Sarah.
Well, I was just going to ask, what's the first time that you spoke as the head coach, as the new leader, and it was recognized by the girls, your message to how the season was going to go as well as how the program was going to be ran?
Sure. I think I've let them know that there's going to be some changes to the program a little bit, but I think I just basically wanted them to know that even though there'd be changes, they would be on board with those decisions and sort of working it out together. And that we, last year is last year. This year we're going to do some changes and try some different things to see about being successful.
Well, certainly it's a good year to come in because you've got a lot of kids coming back. Really just minor graduation losses, so you're really not in rebuilding mode, so to speak. So let's talk about, first of all, besides Andrea, along with Cameron here, who else you think is going to be able to come up and step up and make some plays for this team in a very tough Northwest Crossroads Conference?
Sure. Brianna Pardis is a big player for us. She made some big plays last year. Assists as well as goals. She'll be one to watch. Ashley Henningfield was out last season with an ACL tear, so she's back and looking good and feeling good again. So that's going to be a big scorer for us.
Competition-wise, has there been some of the younger kids kind of pushing some of the older kids in some positions to possibly help with the talent level?
We have a very, very big sophomore class coming back, so they got some experience their freshman year playing varsity, since we didn't have a JV, so they were actually playing varsity level games a lot. So coming back as a sophomore, they have the varsity experience, and they're still young, they're improving. So I think they help push the upperclassmen to be a little better as well.
Well, you certainly brought a couple student athletes with
Absolutely.
you here. Cameron with a 4.0 and Andrea with a 4.07. And let's start off with Cameron Rasbach right now, a senior, 35th rated in your class, Cameron. And let's talk about the importance of student and the term student athlete. And what got you to that point in your academic and athletic career to put such an emphasis on the classroom?
Definitely my parents are the number one reason why I'm a student and an athlete. Student always comes first before the athleticness, but I definitely think my parents are the ones that have pushed me to become the student I am today.
Captain for 2 years, so obviously your teammates have chosen you. They've seen the leadership qualities that you bring to the table. What's been some of the differences between Colleen and Coach Gorley here? Each coach brings their own mentality, their own strengths, as well as some of the things that they like the kids to work on. What have been some of the differences, and how do you see things shaping up this year?
Coach Gorley has definitely asked our opinion on a lot of things. She likes our input. She likes to know how things have gone throughout the day, throughout personal life and outside life. She especially during practices, she always asks how practice went, how we felt, and if we could change some things. So definitely with that with Coach Gorley.
How important is that for you and your teammates to have that kind of policy where you can, kind of give Coach your input and possibly maybe influence a little bit as far as how things are run and how the team can advance?
It is I definitely think it's an advantage, because not having that relationship between another coach, not having to be able to put your input in, and them saying, oh, no, we don't want your input, is definitely, I love it.
So what does Andrea here have to do to help you guys win some soccer matches this season?
Andrea is our sweeper. So, she's a huge key player. So, do you want to talk?
That's good interviewing skills. I like that. Let's bring on Andrea right now. She's a 4-year starter and also co-captain with Cameron as well, and 4.07, rated 24th in the class. You guys got a little bit of competition there in the class, Andrea, to try to see who does better as far as when the report cards come out?
I wouldn't say there's competition. I would say we've all since freshman year we've had our classes together. So I would say more so than anything we help each other, work on things together, study things together, side by side in classes is less competition and just assistance.
Mm-hmm.
As you take a look at how you guys lead the team and Coach's new open door policy and just kind of how she asked for your guys' input, especially as the captain specifically, how has that helped you guys in terms of how you have taken that into leading the program?
Well, I personally believe, since Sarah is so open with Cameron and I as captains, it helps us relay that to the girls, because they definitely, are closer to us personally than they are with Sarah. So I think a lot of things that come from Sarah and then come from us as well, I think they take it to heart more so.
Andrea, talk about the St. Vincent de Paul Youth Society and how that helps you kind of take the edge off a little bit and also kind of gives you the proper perspective on things.
St. Vincent de Paul Youth Society is a program through my church, and we're all high school kids, and our leaders, our adult leaders, always are finding a community service stuff for us to do, whether it's gathering food and taking it to the needy, and that helps me just have perspective, how you don't know what's going on with certain teammates at home, so I always try to help them in every way possible, because you don't know what they go through outside of practice.
Give you a wrap up now, Sarah. Let's talk about this year and maybe some of the goals that you set for this group. What do you feel would be a successful year for the Brickies as far as being able to meet your expectations as you try to kind of establish your own stamp on this program?
Sure. Basically, I'm looking for them to improve throughout the year. I came on pretty late in the season, right before the season.
Sure.
So,
tough situation to be in.
and making changes is hard. It'll take a while before they catch on to everything. So I just hope that we improve throughout the season, so that by the end of the season we're at our best, and hopefully we can win sectionals. That would be Excellent.
Well, we're looking forward to working with you as well as the boosters and bringing some of the action on the pitch. We're looking to come out to the Brickyard and covering the girls. We have not done that in a while, and I know Kent will be very excited about that. Rosenbaum, my color commentator, who built the press box over at Mundell Field and has certainly been a part of that program for many years. Yes. So we certainly wish you success this year, and we hope a lot of longevity. And thank you, ladies, for taking the time and coming out. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sarah Gorley from the Hobart Brickies girls soccer program joining us here on the preseason soccer kickoff show. We want to thank her as well as Blob Glover and everybody over at Hobart for their tremendous support of their student athletes at Hobart High School. And again, we're very excited about the project that we are joining in with Hobart High School with once a Brickie, always a Brickie. We're going to move on now to the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference. We're going to bring on Armando Garza and the Bishop Noll Warriors. Again, special thanks go out to Hallmark Sports Club 2. They are the host of the kickoff show out here today. The weather is always fine here at Hallmark, so why not come over and play? Adults leagues begin on November 1st with youth and high school leagues beginning the weekend of October 30th. You can check out everything on the web at hallmarksportsclubii.com. Armando Garza, the head coach of the Bishop Noll Warriors, is going to join us. Great to see you as usual. Coach, pull that microphone down in front of your mouth there so you can talk to us as well. There you go. All right. So 5-2 in a very tough conference in the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference. Coach, I know things didn't end the way that you liked it to. They probably don't for everybody in the state except for one team. But let's talk about last year, the growth experience, and how these kids are going to be able to take that as a positive coming into this year.
Well, last year I had quite a few young freshmen that came in, and they showed how much, besides the skill that they had and the soccer experience they had, they helped out quite a bit with my varsity. It was a little bit weak that I had in the varsity level last year. One thing was the experience that these guys gained from last year helped them out quite a bit. This year, throughout the workouts and the scrimmages, they've shown a lot more confidence in what they can do. It looks pretty positive for me in the midfield as well as scoring, and we'll see how the defense goes.
Well, Coach, the one thing you certainly have to be very proud of is you had 7 athletes from last year's team move on to college. That's outstanding. You had 4 of them go over to Purdue-Calumet locally here, 1 to Lewis University, 1 to Indiana, 2 of them down to Bloomington at Indiana University. So let's touch base, first of all, on Jonathan Lozano, Lance Jackson, Alex Avalos, Fabian Romero, Mark Sullivan, Eric Klosek, along with Nate Payonk. Just a great group of kids that are certainly going to be able to take their education to the next level.
Yes, I'm real proud of them. Out of the group that I have here, I have Jonathan Lozano will continue playing at Purdue. Lance is going to end up playing at Lewis University, and Alex Avalos will be playing at Purdue too. The other ones are going for academic purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is probably for them to come out here, take to the next level, and continue playing is a big plus for them.
How satisfying is that for you as a head coach to see that, and how important is that for these kids to see that they know that there's an end goal here in mind?
It gives something to strive for. They look at what they've achieved. These guys were seniors. These guys come in as freshmen and sophomores, and as they're seeing that, it just powers them up even more.
Introduce the 2 student athletes to my immediate right, and what they're going to have to do to help you guys win some soccer matches in a very difficult Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference this year.
Right here to my right first is Gabby Anguiano. He's been playing varsity for 4 years. Team captain. He's been a leader throughout all 4 of his years. Alex Romo, he has the cousin to Gabriel Romo. Went on to play at UIC and still playing over there. And then Sergio Marquez.
Let's pass the microphone first to Alexander Romo, first of all. And, Alex, talk about your sibling there and how important is that to see him competing at the higher level and giving you something to try to achieve for down the road.
He inspires me a lot.
Yeah, flip that up there. There you go.
He inspires me a lot. I've seen him play since I could remember. And it's It's cool to see him in Division I college. Of course, I'm going to try to get up there, try to get to his level, and someday hopefully be just like him.
What's it like to watch him play at that level? That's got to be really cool because
it feels cool knowing your cousin is playing there, and then he's doing a really good job. He could get really far with that.
What are some of the things that you feel you have to work on? You were Rookie of the Year in First Team Conference last year. Terrific honors as only a freshman, Alex, and now moving into your sophomore year. So, what can you do, kind of for an encore after a great freshman year?
I'm gonna keep playing the same way I've been playing. I'm just gonna put more work and practice. I'm gonna try to get the same awards and probably get more, hopefully. But just gotta keep practicing and practice. What's
engineering club do for you as far as kind of taking the pressure off a little bit of the academics as well as the athletics over at BNI?
Engineering club takes away time away from home, soccer, all the stuff, and just focus on what I want to be and when I grow up.
Let's bring on Sergio Marquez as well, also all honors performer, also a member of that engineering club as well as the National French Society. And Sergio, as you look back at last year, a lot of tough games for this Warrior team in the tough NWISC. What do you feel were maybe some of the missing ingredients that you guys are going to have to strive for to maybe turn some of those tough losses into wins this year?
I don't know. I think we're going to have to work together and kind of like work as a group effort, and I don't know, just like think as one team and like all work together to do good and play hard.
How tough was it to be a freshman and get thrown into that situation of having to play a role on a team and be the supporting cast, and also for a little bit of leadership as far as on field skill as well? That had to be tough as a freshman, right?
Yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult to do. It's hard playing against guys that are like 4 years older than you.
Right.
You just gotta keep working hard and do the best you can.
What are some of the things that you're working on personally in this off season to help your game, to help coach with his his strategies and where he's going to use you on the pitch?
Well, I try to be less predictable and try to do take more shots and try to score goals.
Let's bring on one of the top players in the area here, and Gabriel Aguiano, 3.86, and also multiple accolades in this particular season. Last year, first-team all-district performer, first-team all-conference in the NWISC, also a captain of the team, and also a second-team all-area performer. Gabriel, how frustrating was it for you to go through that season last year? I would imagine as a senior here, you certainly want to try to turn things around.
It was quite frustrating. I feel like we had all the pieces that we needed last year, all the puzzle pieces, but it just didn't go our way. Unluckily, we had a lot of seniors that helped out so much with the leadership role. It was sad not to see it go our way.
Talk a little bit about that group of kids that now have moved on and have gone to the next level. That's something now that's coming down the pike for you, not only both academically but also athletically, and the whole process now as you go through that decision-making process after this year at Bishop Knoll.
It's definitely it's motivation for me, knowing that they played with me and they made it where they wanted to be. So hopefully it pushes me, knowing that it's coming near. And I want to be there. I want to be at the college level. So it's definitely it's motivation. It's something to push for.
What do you feel are some of the areas that you need to work on to get to that next level? You're obviously a very skilled player at the high school level, and you've had a lot of success at this level. But as you know, when you do move into being a freshman at the collegiate level, no matter where you play, there's going to be student athletes just like yourself, the top athletes from other programs that are going to be coming in there as well, and you're going to have to try to mesh as a team. So as you look at that, what do you feel are some of the things, the skill sets that you need to improve on as you move forward your senior year?
I think it'll be adjusting to playing against bigger athletes, so moving off the ball, doing the small stuff, the little stuff, making that extra sprint, getting away the ball quicker, stuff like that, making runs. Just the little stuff that's going to make me stand out more in the collegiate level.
You're obviously a guy that's been around a long time, and you can tell when you see good talent on the field as well as good work ethic. Besides the two gentlemen to your immediate right, who else has really stepped up in training camp that's opened your eyes this year for the Warriors?
We have a junior, Luke Fiermeyer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a winger. He works hard at practice. He's been putting a lot of work on the off season. So I expect a big year from him. He plays a winger, but he likes to come back on D, and that's what I love about him. He gets some good crosses in. So hopefully he has a big year this year.
Two-way player is always good to play with, no
Yes,
doubt
of
about
course.
that. And 5 goals and 4 assists last season, so he's seeing his teammates on the field and distributing the ball where he's supposed to distribute them. For you, your senior year now, it'll be a successful year if. What do you fill in the blank there for us? What do you think would help you to have a successful year, not only individually but as well as a team?
I think if our younger guys, since we're such a young team, if they step up and fill the gaps that were taken out last year, if they step up leadership roles, if they build some confidence in themselves. So if we work as a team, like individually first, like building confidence, and then as a team as a whole, if we all just connect, if we all believe that we can, I feel like we can do great things this year.
What's it like playing for Coach Garza?
Oh, man, seeing my brother play for him, and then now I grew up wanting to play for him, and now I did play for him. I'm finishing up playing for him. It was great. I've known him for quite a while now, and man, it's gonna be sad to finally leave him after this year.
Campus ministry, as well as some of the other things, the extracurriculars, how does that help you to get your mind off all the pressures? I know the academic challenges at Bishop Noel Institute are very great, and you certainly have met them with a 3.86 GPA, but how has that helped you kind of keep things in perspective and helped you take a little bit of the edge off?
With campus ministry, I'm a retreat leader, so I think it's I like motivating people. So being a retreat leader, it helps me push everything away, push the academics away, and just focusing on campus ministry being about helping God, like helping people find God. So I think that's what helped me a lot. It helped me find God. So hopefully I can maybe inspire some people in finding God themselves.
Outstanding. That's a great thing, Gabriel. No doubt about that. And being named a captain of the team, how important is that for you? Are you a vocal leader out there? Are you a guy who like to get in somebody's face if they're not getting the motivation and the effort that you and Coach feel that they need, or more of a leader by example?
No, I'm definitely a vocal leader. If someone needs a reality check, one of the younger guys, I will definitely give them the reality check that they need. I don't want to be too hard on them, but make them push themselves. I know what they can do. I see potential in most of these young guys, so I know what they can do. So I tell them all the time, I know what you're capable of. I just want to see you do it. But yeah, I'm definitely a vocal leader.
How big is that to have a quote-unquote extra coach on the field there for you, Armando?
It's great, and a lot of kids look up to him. It makes it really a lot easier.
Well, they really should, because he's getting the job done,
And throughout the years, I've always had that extra kid from his brother on, who, as the younger kids came in, they were all going through the same routine every year. So I see Sergio and Romo over here within the next year or two. You're going to have another group just looking up to these guys. So it's been great. I've been blessed with having great kids to work with.
Boy, you look at the results from last year, Coach, and a lot of tough losses. The loss to Culver Military, 1-0. Also a 1-0 loss as well to Covenant Christian on the road. Of course, the tough loss to Andrean over at Hanover Central there. So a lot of tight matches. If you could put your finger on it, what are some of the areas that you need to turn around this year to maybe change some of those tight games into W's for you?
One of the things, it hurt last year before the season, we had a alumni game. And one of my top kids, Alex Avalos, ended up getting injured.
Sure.
So he didn't really come back until our first sectional game, which kind of hurt because it hurt having just Gabby as your lone guy up on top.
Right.
Some of the other guys, younger guys, throughout the season, you'd have one good game, and mentally they would fall apart. And it's a lot of talking and trying to get them back into the rhythm of the game again.
Sure.
And it was kind of hard. And when Gabby wanted even more, but the other kids, I told them, you got to be patient. These guys are still young. So that kind of hurt us a little bit. We played great for the Andrean game. One mistake did us in. which we ended up losing 1-0.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what it is in the playoffs.
Yes.
That type of thing. But the schedule is always very challenging. You guys certainly don't shy away from anybody non-conference-wise, with the Duneland Athletic Conference being a big part of what you guys do. Let's talk a little bit about that schedule and how that's going to prepare you for the postseason.
The schedule, it helps these guys build them up so that when we come into the sectionals, they're going to be a little bit more, not shaky, but a little bit more confident at no matter who they play against.
Right.
You want to have them play strong games and learn from what we lost. If we lost those games, what we did wrong. So just as we're going along throughout the season, just build them up.
Yeah, they start off, of course, at home against Hanover Central. Dan has really got them playing some really good soccer. You head to Munster on August the 29th. You've also got a home game against Crown Point on September the 14th, a road game at Chesterton. I had a chance to see that game over at Chesterton a couple years ago. That was a dynamite soccer match, very even. At Griffith on their new facility over there, at Andrain in the traditional late-season matchup. And I'm sure Covenant Christian is probably circled on the schedule there a little bit, Coach, as a motivation for the Knights.
Every year we've beaten them. They beat us one year, and it's a whole lot different. One of those teams beat you for once, it's they come at you. They're not intimidated anymore by you.
Who else, Coach, besides who Gabe talked about, do you see that's going to possibly help fill some roles for you guys this year? You mentioned Luke on the outside there a little bit. Of course, we've already talked with Alex as well as Sergio.
Addison Barnhill, that's a young kid who he's been playing his heart out, strong, aggressive player. He's developed a lot in his skills. I've got Sergio's cousin who came in as a freshman. I've got three. I was worried about my keeper situation, and I ended up coming with three keepers, and his cousin happens to be a hell of a keeper. We've done some little drills back and forth with the keepers, and he's going to end up being one of my starters for the varsity. So he's only a freshman. So
wow, that's
what I was worried about. I'm blessed with because Mateo is the other freshman keeper, and they're both just identical to each other as far as the reflexes and some of the drills we've had against them, one-on-one against them, and it was like, wow, when you see these keepers. And I said, I was lucky this year.
So So what are some of the more difficult things that you have to teach to a keeper that's that young coming into varsity action?
Confidence. Being confident and taking he's going to be the leader for my defense.
Right.
I'm coming out with quite a few defenders. I lost a lot of defenders last year who are coming in from the JV. So he's going to be a leader. The good thing about it, the kid comes in with confidence. He's got athletic ability. He's got the mobility. He's been playing a lot of keeper for a long time. I was watching him on the field. He also has great field awareness and skills too.
Those are things you can't really teach, are they?
But then he says his love is is being as a keeper, and I said, you know what? I need you right now.
So what about the shootout situation? Are you guys going to be working on that as far as being able to read hip movement and tendencies? And of course, a lot of that's going to just come through experience too.
Experience. Good thing he plays a lot of club ball, so whatever he brings in, it's just going to help out with the other keepers too. So,
anybody else opening up your eyes besides those three newcomers? You said Jake, also a younger brother.
He's a younger brother. We're working at Knoll. You have a lot of kids who, their parents, their older brother, their cousins, whatever, they always want to just follow in their steps.
Sure.
Jake Fiermeyer is another great skills. He's quick. He's like identical to his brother. But I'm going to start him off at some JV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to rush him through, get comfortable, and hopefully by the middle of the season he'll be ready so I can bring him up.
So what would you say is really the keys here for a successful season? The season will be successful for the Bishop Knoll Warriors if?
Knowing the least amount of injuries possible.
It's been kind of a bugaboo the last couple of years, hasn't it?
It's been off and on, and it's just key players have gotten injured, and a lot of it is some of these guys like to hold on to the ball a little too much and getting them to, you know what, have a lot of confidence with the guys around you. And pass when you have a shot, take the shot. Some Sergio was last year, for the skills that he has, he was always hesitant. He wanted to be more of a playmaker. And there was times when he had an open shot. I said, take the shot.
Get greedy sometimes, I guess.
Sometimes,
Right?
it helps out.
Well, the season starts. You'll have the scrimmage against Clark on the road to start things off, and then you host Hanover Central coming up in a conference game, and certainly important to get off to a good start against a conference opponent.
Yes, it is. You hope to have a couple games before that. Hanover Central is no fluke of a team. They've gotten better, and it's a toss-up when you go to play them now. Yeah.
Well, Coach, thanks very much for taking the time. Greatly appreciate it, everything you do for us. Thanks, gentlemen, for taking the time and come out. Gabe, continued success.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll see you down the road. So the Bishop Knoll Warriors have joined us here at the 21st Annual Northwest Indiana Soccer Kickoff Classic. The Bishop Knoll Warriors coming off a 7-8-1 season, 5-2 in the very tough Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference. And Adam, we've got a chance right now to talk a little bit about the projects that we had in the off season. Of course, with Once a Brickie, Always a Brickie, as well as the Indiana Football Digest. And the IFD came out during the North-South All-Star game down in Indianapolis area, down at North Central, and certainly a labor of love for Paul and the staff, and a chance to have every high school program in the state featured in that publication.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mentioned earlier on when we started the program, Mike, now completed by going down through Evansville, have completed by going to every school in the state that participates in high school football, taking pictures of the stadiums, visiting each school. Really an interesting dynamic when you take a look at it. A lot of publications maybe would just email out or try and have coaches send in. We go out to each coach, shake their hand, get a one-on-one conversation with them, which is really nice to see as we take a look at what's going on in the state of Indiana when it comes to high school football.
Yeah, I think that's probably the neat thing, like you talk about, and being able to see the different communities and how they support the student athletes in those particular towns, and also you get a chance to see the different stadiums and how they're set up, and how the coaching staff approaches their year coming up, and of course at that time of the year everybody's optimistic.
Oh, absolutely,
for the new year.
Absolutely. It's the start of a new season. Everybody starts out 0-0. So.
Well, the old saying is that tradition never graduates, and that is Danny Yeftich, the head coach of the Valparaiso Vikings, who's going to join us, a member of the Soccer Hall of Fame, and 449 wins and an illustrious career, 25 of those, of course, over at Valparaiso High School, 8 of those years over at Valparaiso University, and way back in the day over at Munster High School, Coach, in Northwest Indiana here, and boy, can you believe it's how long of a run it's been, and that we're here now in 2015. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
A great tradition, great history in the program, and some of the boys really don't know that my high school job was at Monster, And I talked to one of the boys there. So he didn't know. Of course, my wife teaches there, and she had him as a youngster. But it's been fun. Still, it's fun. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. That's what I do. And I hope these guys can learn something this year, because we're going to have a fairly young team, and we can move forward. But tradition never graduates. And I mean, we do have a program. We do have a plan, and hopefully we'll put it all together. As I brought a couple of my guys here with me.
Coach, we've been talking about the Duneland Athletic Conference with a number of different teams and just how tough it is year in and year out. Does the challenge ever get old for you in terms of going in through the DAC year after year?
Not really. I mean, everyone has improved, and so there's no easy game anymore. In old days, it used to be, they might score 4 or 5 goals first half and just kind of cruise, but there's no easy opponent anymore. I think DAC is one of the toughest conferences, not just in the region, but I think in the state. And you see representation in semi-state and other places where we go. So whoever wins the DAC on the top of there, chances are they're going to go places.
Well, certainly a very strong group of kids that have moved on graduation-wise, Coach. Billy Yogan, who did a terrific job for you between the pipes. Jacob Wallace, a nice offensive threat, along with Jared Bradley, who did a great job offensively from his stopper position, and some other kids that filled in those roles for you. So besides Baker, along with your other student athlete here, Caleb. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other kids that are going to be making plays for the Vikings in 2015.
Well, looking at the roster, really, even though people think we're young, we do have 5 seniors, 7 juniors, and 8 sophomores. So it's a good balance, really. So the sophomores need to step up and play the game the way it should be played, but seniors are here to lead, obviously, with the 2 gentlemen here. The other seniors, Jacob Devine, Ryan Miles, also Sam Clems. I don't want to miss anyone here. And, of course, the 2 guys here makes 5. And the juniors, I got a solid group of juniors, including Alec Ritkers. I think we have Weissman and Ryan Respond, the boy who moved from Virginia last year. Those are very solid players, and they play premier soccer throughout the whole year, And so I'm very optimistic that these will put it all together and play well as one unit.
Is this one of your youngest teams that you've coached throughout the years, or like you say, is the balance pretty much? I know usually you have a little bit more senior group than you normally do.
It's true, but I like my sophomores. I think these guys can tell you these boys they play like juniors. I mean, they're very talented. I seen them when they were U10 boys when they played with Chicago Fire Juniors. Actually, I coached them at that time. So these 8 sophomores are really solid players. So they can play, and I think that's kind of optimistic about. But on the paper we look young, but on the field we're going to be old.
Let's take a look at some of the other kids that have opened your eyes in camp, and I know that you look for a lot of other intangibles in student athletes, not just what they can do skill level wise, how they work with their teammates, how they work in your system, and how they appreciate the team concept of soccer.
Well, I have to keep reminding them about the traditional history that's behind us. I know it's behind us, but still we have to follow the steps of those guys who open the door for us. So I think the tradition is there. But they need to understand what does it take to be a Viking. So, we do a lot of educational stuff. I mean, I do a lot of chalk talk. We do a lot of board talk. We do a lot of educational stuff. We talk about nutrition. We talk about character. We talk about code of conduct. To me, number 1 on the list is character. I mean, if you don't have good character, you're not going to play for me. I'm sorry to tell you, that's what it is. Because that kind of goes with that. Academics right next to it. I mean, we were one of the 3 schools in Indiana that received NSCA academic award. Canterbury, Zionsville, and Valparaiso. So if you go NSCA.com and find out on the academic. So these boys are good students. To me, it's right there at the top. Then we're going to go to a field and practice, and we're going to win or lose games. That's secondary. So these boys they come from good families, they have good characters, they're honest, and they work hard. And I think that makes my job a little bit easier,
We're visiting with Danny Yeftich, the Hall of Fame head coach here at Valparaiso High School here on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports. 9-5-3 last year, and I tell you what, Coach, the schedule is just brutal, year in and year out. North Central, of course, on there, which has really just become a traditional rivalry. And now you pick up Westfield on the road, the Shamrocks, a strong program, and then you also go to the St. Joseph's Indian Invite, which is a great tournament with Elkhart Central out there in the South Bend area. You pick up a road game against Fort Wayne Canterbury. You're also going down to North Central this year. That's in addition to Penn and the Duneland. So not a lot of weak sisters on the schedule, and really a challenge for a younger squad, don't you think? I mean,
no question about it. Right from the beginning. I mean, next Saturday we have a little scrimmage, and then we go into the DAC game. Then instead of Westfield, we have Noblesville, which is really competitive as well, because Noblesville give us opportunity and a challenge as well. So we go to Indianapolis twice, and then we go to Fort Wayne, we go to South. So we go places to find out where we really are. So the challenge for these young guys is already there, and we have a plan. I have a plan for these guys, and I think it will be all right. But they will be tested, no question about it. Yeah.
Well, not only is that a challenge for the younger players, but it can be an opportunity for team chemistry to kind of bring everybody together and really give an opportunity when you're on the road going to Indianapolis or Fort Wayne, these 2 or 3 hour drives that really can help to bring the team together as well, I would think.
No question about it. I think that's really, in order for a team to be successful, you need to have that. Guys need to respect each other. Guys should like each other. Guys should want to spend time together, Even though individuality is important, and you're going to decide what you're going to do. At the end of the day, how the Vikings do, not how the Caleb did and how the Baker Harris did or how this guy did. How did we do? And I think you have to give something away from yourself for the betterment of the team. And I think that's what's happening with these guys. That they recognize finally, hey, I need to pass the ball. Because there's some good dribblers on this team. But at the end of the day, ball's got to be moving. And I think we're sharing it right now. Every practice we play better.
Baker Harris is going to join us here. He's a senior on the team. Baker, go ahead and pick up the microphone. Flip that switch there, if you would, on the side there. Baker involved in environmental science. Let's talk a little bit about that, Baker, and how that helps you kind of take the strain off the classroom, as well as some of the stuff that Coach is expecting for you on the field.
Well, environmental science is actually a class I'm going to be taking next year, in the curriculum, and it's just a good class that challenges students, and I think it's just a good opportunity to get your mind off soccer and maybe focus on something else for a little bit.
Now, you and Caleb are two of the 5 seniors on this team. Obviously, you're going to be looked up to by the younger players for leadership, not only on the field, but off the field. First of all, number one, are you comfortable in that role? And number two, are you a guy that likes to lead by example, or are you more a verbal leader that will get in somebody's face if they're not getting the job done?
I think Caleb and I think we're both comfortable in the leadership role, and I think we understand what it takes to be a leader. As far as me, I like telling people, what they did wrong. Not as much get in their face, but more maybe pull them aside and let them know in more of a nice way, just what they could do better or what they could have done in that situation.
Now, you're a veteran now of the DAC Wars as well as the non-conference schedule that the coach puts together every year. How difficult is it for you and the players as you're going through that tough schedule to keep the focus on what the ultimate goal is, which is success in the tournament and also in the conference? And, each time out, you've got to bring your A game or else you're going to be sent home with a loss.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the tough schedule is good for us because I think if you play good teams throughout the year, you're going to gradually improve and you're going to be prepared for the tournament in the end, as opposed to playing easier teams and just whooping them 10-0 or 8-0 or putting in a bunch of goals. I think playing harder teams is better for us and it will bring us together at the end of the year.
Where does Coach have you slotted? Is he going to have you in the center mid area again? And if so, how is that area of the pitch shaping up for you guys?
I think either center mid or playing stopper for us. Just talking and letting people know and being a good communicator out on the field for us is what I'm looking to do this year, and just be positive and keep everyone together.
What's Caleb Wilson going to have to do to help the Vikings be successful in 2015?
I think he just needs to play his game. He's a great player, and I think he knows what he's doing out there. So if he just plays how he knows how to play, he'll obviously, along with leadership, help us win games.
Let's bring on Caleb Wilson right now, doing a great job at a 3.7 in his senior year here. And Caleb, what are some of the things that you're going to be working on individually as a senior on this team, not only off the field but on the field, to help you and the Vikings be successful this year?
Well, I think one of the main things is I need to work on my conditioning because I haven't played in a while. I just got back from an injury, a back injury. That's why I didn't play last year. And also just remaining positive and keeping everyone upbeat on the team to let them know maybe if they make a mistake, it's not all their fault or anything. Just life goes on.
I see also you got some interests written down here. It seems like on the academic side of things, environmental science, calculus, economics, psychology, member of the Spanish club. When you take a look at the fact that after this you're going to have to try and figure out what you want to do with college, what about this interests you, and how has that maybe helped shape where you want to go after Valparaiso?
Well, it's always school before soccer, so I'm really interested in economics and business, and I know IU has a very good business program. So I just want to take the classes I can, AP classes, kind of challenge myself a little bit just to get ready for college. Excuse me, because I know it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of competition nowadays, with Valpo being a premier academic school in the area and even in the state.
How difficult has the rehab been for you, and not only from a physical standpoint, but being on the sideline, knowing that you couldn't help this team win soccer matches last year?
It was really disappointing. It was a sad blow because I found out at the beginning of last season, and it was just hard because for about 6 weeks I couldn't do anything but wear a brace. But I stayed mentally strong. I went through physical therapy, and I'm back and couldn't be happier.
I was going to say you had to be psyched just to get back on the field and kick the ball around a little bit. Who else that we haven't mentioned here, Caleb, has really opened your eyes in training camp that has said, you know what, wow, that looks like a young man that can help us get together as a team from a skill set standpoint and help us win some matches this year?
Well, Alec Rickers, he's going to be a junior. He's got some skills. He played varsity last year. So we got a lot of young talent. We got some sophomores coming up. Jacob Devine's returning. He's a strong midfield player. We got Justin Roth in the back. I think we'll have a very strong defensive team.
Well, Coach, you certainly have two well-spoken young men here to represent this Valparaiso team. And as you take a look at the DAC and the overall landscape, I know you follow the game not only in this area but all across the state. Your impressions on the high school game right now, where it's headed as an entity? I know we had the multiple class system come into play in 2011, which kind of changed things a little bit, but nonetheless, still a great game and certainly a lot of competition from top to bottom in the state.
No question about it. I mean, I've seen it here and I've seen it at other places. I've talked to Jerry Little down in Indianapolis and other coaches who have lost a few players here and there due to academy structure, like Chicago Fire and so on.
Right.
Yeah, players have to make a decision to do what they need to do. But hey, still, the game is a strong game. I think our conference is wide open. Very difficult to predict. When you look on the paper, you might say here and there, but at the end of the day, who can really perform that night? Because it's not round robin. You just play one game. And so I think our boys will step it up. I'm happy to see Caleb back. As you know, you asked him about last year. He was heartbroken because he's supposed to come back and he didn't come back and so on. And so he was really helping me as assistant coach and as a manager. So now he's a senior now and he's going to make things happen. And I'll make sure he gets in shape.
I know you'll do that, Coach. And you got, of course, you lose a little bit of firepower up top with Jacob, Michael Diedrich also moving on as well. Jared Bradley in the back, Anthony Carpenter also moving on, Billy Hogan. So there's some spaces to fill there, but it sounds like you've got some talented kids, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of competition in the early part of the year for this team.
It will be, no question about it. Yeah, on our goalkeeping side, we have Blake Mersman and Brendan Garrick, and he played the sectional last year. Did a phenomenal job. Even though we lost the match, he's stepping up right now as a junior, but Blake is right there. They push each other. We got three other young guys in the pipeline. So goalkeeping is really solid. And then our defense, I think, will be well organized. Right now we're fixing our midfield, and we will find a way to score goals. We just need to keep the ball out our net.
Ted still going to be back with you at the JV level for another go-around?
Well, my son Jovan is of course the head coach now of the JV team, but Ted is there.
Okay, so they kind of flip roles a little bit now.
Yeah, Ted is there. He comes around. He still cares. He's a Viking, or will be Viking the rest of his life, most likely. And then I have two other guys who are helping. There's a gentleman who moved here from Ohio, from Cleveland area. He's a goalkeepers coach, former professional player from Serbia, former Yugoslav Republic, and then he's here now working with our keepers. And then Matt Sellers, who also has played at Valparaiso University, and all those guys, including Darko Latinovic, play the game at the highest level. So these kids are getting good education from gentlemen who play at the high level.
How cool is that to have your son on the staff? I mean, that's got to be a great thing.
He's excited by his group. We just did our tryouts last week, and he's ready to go. I mean, he just loves these kids, and I think we'll have fun along the way.
Well, Coach, thanks very much for taking the time again. Really greatly appreciate it. Always good to visit with you guys, and we're certainly going to be on the road with the Vikings this season. Obviously, the Chesterton game is something we always try to get involved with, and the schedule certainly will be a challenge for you and these student athletes, but we know the Vikings will be right there at the top when everything's done.
We will be. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your coverage. I listen to you guys all the time.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time. Danny Yeftich, the Hall of Fame head coach of the Valparaiso Vikings, joining us along with Caleb. We want to thank him as well as the rest of the Vikings. Also thank Baker Harris for joining us as well out here today. Just some well-spoken student athletes out here today, Adam Demery, and they're doing all a good job, not only what they're playing on the field, but also in the classroom as well.
Yeah, I think about, you could say, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, you could probably count on one hand, maybe you having to use one or two fingers from the other, the amount of 4.0 students that you have on a team. It seems like it's the other way around. You can count on one hand, maybe one or two fingers on the other, that players that don't have a 4.0 GPA, it seems like, or at least a 3.5 or above. So great to see just a bunch of student athletes putting students first, and obviously we know Danny does a great job of character building with his team, and he said right there perfectly, in my opinion, the fact that if you don't have good character, you're not going to be a Valparaiso Viking.
For great tasting pizza, you must try JJ Pizza Shack, located at 1454 West Lincoln Way, 1 mile west of the square in Valparaiso. They offer a variety of great tasting pizza, including their famous kitchen sink. Did you have pizza yesterday? Their menu also includes sandwiches, seafood, rib, chicken dinners, and salads. Dine-in, carry-out, and delivery is available in the local area. For delivery, give JJ's Pizza Shack a call at 219-476-1616. That's 476-1616. Also, thanks go out as well to our hosts today over here at the Hallmark Sports Club 2 in Maryville. Their soccer home from October through April. If you don't play at Hallmark, your opponents will. Don't get left out in the cold. Get in here. Wednesday and Sunday evenings are adult open soccer nights. Just $7 for 3 hours. Adult leagues begin on November the 1st. Youth and high school leagues begin the weekend of October 30th. League registration will open September 15th. Register here at the facility or online at www.hallmarksportsclubii.com. That's hallmarksportsclubii.com. We're going to move to 5959 Broadway for the Andrean 59ers. We're going to bring on Joe O'Neill, who's the assistant coach for Tony Pagoric over at Andrean High School. And Joe, great to have you over here, and I know that Tony, you, and the rest of the staff are very anxious to start this year.
Yeah, we're very, very excited to get back at it. We have a lot of young players coming back. We're hoping to increase our win count there in the record from last year. I know that we just had a lot of youth last year, and coming back, we've been working really, really hard, and we want to prove to a couple people that we have what it takes to hopefully make some noise near the end of the season.
Well, Coach and the kids certainly have a great staff with you and Andy Masteller and Ken Burbridge to help them and really understand the Andrean way of things that was established by Pete Reese for many years and the tradition and the success that this Andrean team has had.
Absolutely, yes. Andy and I both played under Pete, and so did Coach Pagoric, Tony, and so the three of us know the tradition that goes into school there, and are very, very happy to be bringing it back and be on the other side of the sidelines and just kind of pushing these guys in the right direction, hopefully.
Let's talk about last year's squad. Obviously, some growing pains in the transition of moving from Coach Reese to Coach Pagoric, and change of style, change of expectations, change of personalities, and all that goes in with that. Plus, a lot of graduation losses that really kind of made things a little bit difficult at the early going. But the team certainly got focused and turned around towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. It was awesome to see that the players started to kind of buy into the new system and working really, really hard. For Coach Pagoric and myself, I was there under Coach Reist, and so it was just a little bit different mindset, different mentality, and we're just very, very happy that they're starting to really buy in this year too. We're working 2 days we just got finished with this week, and we're going to be actually obviously starting school back up, so getting used to the afternoon heat here next week, and just going to be moving forward.
Yeah, you lose 17 seniors from that team, of course, that made that deep tournament run, which gave Coach Reist a nice swan song to go out on, that's for sure. And this year you have 7 returning starters from the team. As you went through your training camp here, Joe, you've obviously been around long enough to see players that will open your eyes in different situations, whether it be skill set, whether it be their maturity level, how they work with their teammates in different situations. So besides Cole and Jeremy here, who else has really opened your eyes up for the Niners?
We have a lot of good players on the ball. Danny Mohan is a senior this year. He's got some really, really good foot skills. And then Calvin Hayslip is also one of the captains. He didn't end up making it this evening, or this afternoon, I should say. But he is also really good, really strong on the ball and can see the field very well. We had a freshman come in, Ben Warren, who is just a hustler. He just runs and runs and runs. And so I'm very, very excited for him to be up top as a forward and hopefully find the back of the net a couple of times.
How's the keeper situation look? You were obviously young there in that department last year. Besides, Spencer obviously was your top guy.
Right, yeah. Last year at the beginning of the season, Spencer had, I think, broken his thumb, so he had to sit out a little bit, so we had to put a freshman in, and now this year Spencer's back, and better than ever his senior year, hopefully. He wants to make it one to remember.
Let's talk about the back line as well as the midfield and how that's shaping up for you.
Yeah, the back line this year we actually changed formations. We're going to a flat back 4, and Cole and Jeremy are our outside backs here, and then we have our 2 center backs. So it's a little bit of a different style, and they're kind of getting used to it. I think moving forward on the offensive side of the ball from the back, we're really, really starting to grow and to find some good shape there into our midfields, where Cal is one of the holding mids, and then we have a couple of other younger guys there. But we're just really starting to mesh and to come together as a team. I think I'm very, very excited.
I was just going to say, what is the biggest challenge with such a young group in terms of getting that chemistry going, because when you have 17 seniors, they've grown up in school together, they've gone through the challenges, they've gone through the ranks, and now you lose 17 seniors and you got a whole new group that you have to do the exact same thing. What's the biggest challenge from a coaching staff's perspective?
Well, I just think to get everybody on the same page, to get them all bought back in, I think with those 17, they all had the same mindset, and they were going, they said, we want to make this long run into the semi-state, in which they did, and that was awesome. But now we have a couple sophomores that are young and don't really understand. Freshmen, same thing. Juniors were, it wasn't really our team last year. So now it's just a little bit more taking ownership and just kind of getting on the same page, and just everybody has to have the same goal in mind.
Let's bring on those two seniors that Coach O'Neill talked about. Jeremy Detmar is going to join us first. Doing a great job, Jeremy, in the classroom. Go ahead and flip that switch up there on the microphone, Jeremy. 3.4 in the classroom, a first-team all-conference performer in the Northwest Crossroads Conference, Jeremy. And touch base on what Coach talked about, the adjustment with the new coaching staff. And I'm sure you were aware as a young player, both as a freshman, coming in, knowing the tradition that Andrean boys soccer has had over the years. But what were some of the difficulties that you went through personally in the transition last year?
I mean, it was a little hard at first because all the old coaches, leaving, and then the new ones stepping in. You need to get used to them and like their new style of play and what they want to do and what they want to accomplish that season. So, I mean, it was pretty difficult. Not for myself, really. I mean, I kind of caught on to it quickly. So did everyone else. So I think the team did a good job.
How's the back line shaping up with Cole, as well as the two most important position, that being stopper and sweeper back there?
It's shaping up really nice, actually. It was last season. It was different, but this year it's actually pretty strong. Everyone's doing really well, adjusting to it. So it's going good.
What adjustments do you have to make both tactically and mentally to playing the four back there?
I mean,
defense is defense, right?
Yeah, I mean, just have to have that mentality, go get the ball, basically, and you have to be smart with your decision making. Where to go with the ball and when to play it back.
Right.
Just certain decision making that you got to think about.
A little bit different because you don't have that diagonal spacing like you would with a defensive mid versus
it's a little tighter, so you got to know what to do with the ball.
Sure. What do you think Cole is going to have to do to help you guys win some soccer matches with that outside fullback position?
I mean, Cole's a phenomenal player, so I know he already knows probably what he needs to do, but I don't know. I think he's pretty solid right now. Yeah, I think he already knows how to play his position perfectly.
Well, that's a ringing endorsement, Cole Erickson, and we're going to bring him on right now. And Cole is a junior doing a great job with a 3.95 GPA. Team Player Award winner, Cole. How important is that for you to get recognized by your teammates with that honor?
I think it's very important because to me it shows that I had a good impact on my teammates, and I kind of showed them, how to play, and I just helped them become better players, and they helped me become better players too.
Let's talk about that run down the stretch. Of course, you lost a tough game to Munster on October the 1st. At that point, you're 4-10-1, maybe some questions going on. And next thing you know, you come up with a win in the sectional. You end up knocking off your rival in Bishop Knoll before losing to Rensselaer. So let's talk about the bounce back after the tough two losses to two quality opponents in Bishop Knoll and Munster. Coming back, and then what did you learn from the loss against Rensselaer to try to take it to the next level?
The two losses were tough. The whole team was a little down, but we practiced real hard. Got our,
confidence maybe
we
back.
Got our confidence back through practice. We really started shaping up after that, and then we went into those games, and with the new confidence that we got through practice, we were able to beat them. And then the loss to Rensselaer was pretty hard because we came in pretty happy with the two wins, and we knew we were going to have to work hard to beat them. Just didn't work out last year. Maybe this year we'll make it a little farther.
Cole, what has the loss of those 17 seniors a couple years ago done for you from a leadership perspective, in terms of now you know that you have to step up, you as well as the other seniors on the team have to step up and lead this program back to where it's used to being?
The loss of the 17 seniors was a pretty big loss. We only had 5 seniors last year, and it was really hard to fill the gap because we lost a lot of starters. And then for me and the seniors that we had, or the seniors that we had last year, we just had to know that the roles had to be filled, and we had to take the roles, and I think we did it pretty well, but I think this year we're going to come much stronger.
Coach, give you a wrap-up now. Obviously, the schedule is challenging as usual, as it always is with Andrean. Start off with the Jamboree to kind of get an idea of where things are going to be focused in, and right away off the get-go hosting Lake Central. So let's talk about that challenge of going up against the Duneland Athletic Conference and one of the top teams in the area, and then going through the schedule, and also picking up a school up at Kalamazoo College in the middle part of September, which will be a nice road trip for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Open up with Lake Central is always a huge challenge, but it's a nice way to see where we're at from the summer. To get off to a good start against a really good program is always something that's a good confidence booster for our guys, and it kind of shows us what we need to work on and where we need to go to be successful in the future. The Kalamazoo College game, that's actually Coach Pagorik's his college roommate, I think, or friend, coaches up in Detroit. So we're meeting at Kalamazoo College for that Saturday afternoon. We're going to play a game, and then we're going to hang out and watch the Kalamazoo boys play. So that's going to be a very, very exciting game for us, I think, and just an awesome experience for our guys to kind of see the college atmosphere and to understand what goes into preparing for a game and just on the next level, on the next kind of a little bit of a bigger stage. And we also picked up, I think, Marion as another opponent, and then Argus is near the end of the season, who is from south side of Indy, I think, and that's just a different style of play down there. So it'll be a nice test for us to hopefully see how we match up against somebody that we might meet in a semi-state or a state game. So we're just very, very excited about getting the chance to play some really tough competition.
Well, Coach, thanks very much for taking the time and coming out. Make sure you give our best to Tony. I'm sure we'll see you throughout the season this particular year and keeping up with the Niners. And, guys, thanks very much for taking the time and coming out. Best of luck this year.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Joe O'Neill, along with Cole Erickson, coming out, and Jeremy Detmar joining us here from the Andrean 59ers, as they will certainly have their challenges for them coming up here in 2015. We want to thank our corporate partner who's helping us be able to positively promote student athletes here on regional radio sports, and that's Calumet College of St. Joseph's. Adam?
That's right, Mike, your university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave Athletics, men's and women's soccer, cross-country, volleyball, and CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams will be in full action during the fall season, along with the new additions of the Crimson Wave Pep Band and Escorts team. You can follow all 22 Crimson Wave teams year-round by going to www.crimsonwaveathletics.com.
We're going to bring on Patrick McCoy. He is the head coach over with the Black and Orange from LaPorte High School. He's going to join us here on the 21st annual installment of our Northwestern Indiana High School Boys and Girls Soccer Kickoff Classic. Coach, welcome back to the program. Thanks for taking the long drive out to join us here and tell us how the preseason training is going. I know things are very optimistic in Slicerland this year.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Happy to be here. Yeah, we've been working hard and looking forward to this coming season.
So how cool is it to have Josh going to Manchester following in your footsteps?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. He's excited about college. He decided not to play soccer, but he's going to Manchester and looking forward to that for
Academia
sure.
waits, right?
Yeah. Decided
also,
to focus on school, and I guess that's okay.
Good for him, absolutely. Storm Short also joining him there. Charlie Williams moving on to Purdue. Carter Huber going to IUPUI. Talk about the importance of, for the kids that are in the program right now, to see student athletes that have graduated and move on to be able to pursue either academics and or athletics at the next level.
Yeah, I do. I think that is important. There's a mix of kids that are looking to go on to college, and most of them, or a lot of them, do seem to want to play or have the option to play in college. And there are a lot of college playing opportunities, for these guys, and to see guys ahead of them be recruited, whether they play or not. We did have a handful of guys that got some college attention last year, and Carter's playing, and the other ones had chances to play, but again, for various reasons, decide not to. But, yeah, I think it is important.
Coach, you also had a number of close games last year, pulled out some great wins, had some tough losses as well along the way in a very tough Duneland Athletic Conference. We just mentioned talking about the importance of seeing players either play or compete at the next level. How important is it for the younger players to see not only that they're playing at the next level, but to see that this program is competing with some of the best teams in the state?
Yeah, I do. I think that is important. We do have a very tough schedule, and the DAC is always tough, and we don't have too many easy games, on our schedule. But it's good for the younger guys. Freshmen coming in have no idea what high school soccer is all about, and it's pretty intense. And yeah, it's good for them to see the upperclassmen and get a chance to take in what varsity soccer is all about.
You lose 13 goals and 10 assists on the graduation level. You got 15 and 15 coming back. How confident are you that the offense can maintain that consistency and help you in these tight matches?
Well, confidence. That's a good question. A little bit nervous confidence at this point. I do think we have a really good, solid group of guys coming back. We have probably as good a depth this year as I've ever seen, So we lost a lot of seniors, and like you say, half of our goal scorers are actually still coming back. Quite a few guys that just had a couple goals, but still had a lot of varsity experience, and I think we'll be in pretty good shape, actually.
10 players make the Indiana Soccer Coaches Association all-academic team. Let's focus on that a little bit, because I think that's what it's really all about, right?
That's right. Yeah, and we're very proud of that, and it is it's student athletes that we're trying to encourage here, and student comes first in that equation. So to have as many guys as we do have good grades and make those lists, sure, that's something we're very proud of.
So who besides Nick and Jake have opened up your eyes in the training sessions that say, hey, this young man can help me win some soccer matches this year?
Yeah, John Aaron is coming back. John will be a senior.
Yep.
One of our leading scorers for the past couple years. He happens to be under the weather today, but I do think he's looking forward to having a good, solid season this year. And we've got a handful of guys, again, that I think we expect to have some good offensive production out of. Alberto Salas is a midfield forward-type player. He should be a dominant player for us in the midfield. Jose Martinez, Brian Ruiz, Juan Villa, Casey Schroeder, another guy. It's one of our varsity guys that we expect to do well. He's also kind of injured at this point. So we do have some injuries that we're dealing with in this preseason, but like I said, we have a pretty strong group of guys that coming up.
Let's bring on Nick Blank right now. He's one of the senior leaders on this team, on the principal's honor roll, and 3.78 grade point average, doing a great job in some multiple AP classes as well. And Nick, let's touch base now. Being a senior, a lot of the younger players are going to be looking up to you for that senior leadership, so to speak. You comfortable in that role, and are you a guy that likes to lead by vocal example, or just kind of the silent assassin mentality? Flip that switch for me there. If you did, yeah, there you go.
Definitely the more vocal side. I don't know. Being more of a defender type player, you always got to talk. So I don't know. I feel like I have a good connection with the younger guys. I don't know. We have a lot of team bonding experiences where they can see, I don't know, where they need to be maturity wise, and I don't know, being captain.
How's the back line shaping up? Looks like you got quite a few kids that are going to be coming back to help you out in that particular role back there.
Oh, yeah, it's looking great. We have a lot of guys competing for playing time this season. We have a deep roster, as was said earlier, and I don't know, just the constant competition for a starting spot is just enough to get ready for season in DAC.
Let's talk a little bit about Between the Pipes and how that's shaping up right now.
Between the
in the net.
It's going good. We have a junior keeper, John Williams. He's a great athlete, big kid, great with. I don't know. He's a good leader. He talks a lot to the D, tells them what he expects, where we should be marking, and he he'll probably be one of our better keepers, and hopefully he'll save us in a couple situations this season. I have great confidence in him. So
another defender that's going to have to do the job back there is Jake Tobar, so pass the microphone over to your teammate there. And Jake, those are big shoes to fill with Carter being out of there now, a veteran who communicated with you very well, had a great goals against average, and did a terrific job in shootout situations. So let's talk a little bit about that back line and how you guys are communicating back there and trying to keep opponents at bay.
Yeah, we've been working really hard on the defense because the shape, that's really key. You got to work, you got to protect the space behind you. And Nick over here, he's been doing good, listening to everybody, and we're just working really well together this year.
A coach doesn't back down from anybody as far as scheduling. I mean, you guys played a brutal non-conference schedule, and then you also get into the Duneland and also do some traveling outside the area as well. How difficult is it from both a mental and a physical standpoint to keep your game at a high level, game in and game out during the season?
Oh, it's pretty difficult because you got the DAC. It's always tough. Even if the team's said to be down a little bit that year, they're always going to play you tough.
Right.
And then our non-conference schedule, we got at the end of the season we got Chesterton, then Goshen, who won state last year. So back to back, we just got to keep our heads up, positive.
And when you're in those close games, and as many as you were this past season, from a player's perspective, I know probably from a coach's perspective, you might be sweating things out a little bit and just because you're wanting to win so much. And from a player's perspective, you're out there on the field, you're in the action, you're in the competition. What's the one maybe something that's the most enjoyable of that type of situation, that type of pressure that's presented to you?
I really like the make or break aspect of it. If you help your team get to that goal and score and win, it's a great feeling. But then on the other end, if you are the one to kind of mess up, it's terrible. But yeah.
Jake, what are some personal goals for yourself as you head into your senior season, not only for yourself, but maybe some of the team goals that you guys have set for this year?
Well, for myself, I really want to get all DAC, maybe get in all district, all area, all state would be cool. That'd be nice. And then for the team, we really want to improve on those close games. We really want to come out on top of those. We want to battle and win it in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and then definitely make it a deep run into the state tournament. That'd be great.
Well, Coach, you certainly got a couple well-spoken young men here to represent the program out here today. You lost a lot of quality kids, but I know you're really excited because the lower levels have performed well for you now. Do you feel right now that you've got the program, you're starting to build the program, so to speak, the whole entire classes that are feeding into the varsity over at LaPorte?
Yeah, I do, Mike. You're right. We lost some guys, and that happens. That's high school every year. Some guys leave, but you're right. We've got, I think, stronger depth this year than any year, and a nice, strong class of freshmen coming in. And I think the program itself is just getting better. So,
well, we're looking forward to working with you in the LaPorte community again this year. We'll certainly try to get out there and do some coverage on WEFM again in LaPorte and Porter County. And we thank you for all those efforts in that regard. And looking forward to another season with the Slicers.
That'd be great. Looking forward to it too.
Okay,
Thanks,
Patrick
Coach.
McCoy joining us. Thanks a lot, guys. It's going to be a challenging year for the Slicers, and team in and team out. We talk about the dueling, Adam, and it certainly is no easy fix for anybody in there. You have to go out there in between the lines and get the job done, no doubt about that.
Well, LaPorte finished in the middle of the pack in the DAC. You take a look at their record in conference play at 2-5, 8-9 overall. But then you take a look at top, who won the conference was Chesterton at 7-0. They return a lot, but at the same time, you talk about those challenges. They're going to have just as many challenges as LaPorte is in terms of defeating everybody that they see in the DAC.
And our friends at the Winey Insurance Agency are celebrating their 35th anniversary of serving Northwest Indiana's insurance needs, a family-owned and operated business. Winey Insurance offers coverage for auto, health, life, business, and more, conveniently located at 762 South Calumet Road in Chesterton. Winey Insurance is the region's #1 leader in friendly and prompt service. Call Winey Insurance today at 219-926-3431. That's 219-926-3431. You can also visit them on the web at wineyinsurance.com. We're going to keep it in the Duneland. We're going to move to the girls' side of things and bring on Jason Conway, the head coach of the Chesterton Trojans. And, Coach, welcome to the program, and talk about the preseason training and conditioning and how things are going for the Maroon and Gold so far.
Well, thanks for having us. The girls have been working hard all summer long. We got started right away, and we feel as though we had some things that were unfinished last year that we would like to take care of this year, and they are definitely focused on certain goals and have been working hard all summer long to put ourselves in a situation where we can achieve those goals.
Coach, with the amount of success you've had recently in the DAC, and now you bring back a lot of your scoring from last year, a lot of your firepower, how exciting is that from a coaching staff's perspective?
It is really nice to know that really we get all of our scoring back. I'm not sure the total amount, but yeah, the majority of that scoring does come back. I know that it has allowed us to be successful in those DAC games, which has been nice. The DAC is always any of those games are going to be difficult, and just having that advantage is definitely going to help us out. So definitely feel it's going to benefit us.
Is that one of the hardest things, Coach, to teach, is the assassin's mentality of being an offensive player, because players get marked up, other teams get physical with them, the stoppers obviously looking at the strikers and trying to get them off their game mentally. Is that a tough situation to train somebody to think that way, that they have to overcome those things?
I think they come in having that personality about them. I think it's an attribute that it's intrinsic. We do a lot of things where we will, practice sticking the ball in the back of the net in different situations, and so we use that, repetitive nature to practice that. But having that mentality is something that is intrinsic, and they come just with it.
So besides Katie Green, along with Kaylee Lindahl, let's talk about some of the other student athletes that have been opening your eyes up here as far as not only their skill level, but also their work ethic and playing as a team for the Trojans.
Well, in addition to these two that I have to my right, who are both fantastic players, we bring Desiree Bell back, who, from a statistical standpoint, had a great year last year. I think she had 17 goals, 8 assists. And her, in addition to Katie and Kaylee, they all work together quite well, and so a lot of their stats are their paired effort to work together, and they just do a fantastic job working with one another. We had a lot of girls last year that stepped in, young players that I think are going to be really good for us. Courtney Kroll was one that she was a freshman last year, sophomore this year. We look at her starting at a center mid position with Katie, and I think that she will have a fantastic year for us.
Coach, you take a look at some of these key newcomers you got written down here in Molly McLaughlin and Christine Jackson in the keeper position. What do you think they're going to bring to the table and replacing that void on defense?
Well, those two, when I look at our goalkeeping situation, I see them as being very comparable. They each have their strong points. They each have weaknesses, but I think that they are going to push each other to become the best players that they're going to become. There's a competition right now at goalkeeper. It wasn't like last year where we had Anne-Marie Radzik and it was pretty much her job. These two girls, right now, I don't really know who is the number one goalkeeper between the two of them, and it could be a situation where we kind of platoon them, and that's probably how we'll start the year with them.
And how about defensively? Because obviously there's some voids to fill there, Coach.
Yeah, if you look at who we graduated our entire defense last year, including Anne-Marie at goalkeeper. We have what we feel is a pretty strong defense. I would say that I feel confidently that it's probably as strong as it was last year. We have some girls that have stepped up. Maddie Calloway is going to play center defender for us. She's a sophomore. She's a big, fast girl who plays physical and is willing to step in and take on any attacker. Kayla Schneider she was a midfielder for us. She's probably going to drop back and play defense for us as well. We had a girl, Brittany Conley, move in from California, who is going to be a starting outside defender. And then that leaves us with our other outside defender, and we're looking at who's going to be in the best situation for that, and it could be Kylie Surgat. That's what we're looking at right now. So we have 4 girls that they feel very comfortable back there in defense, which is kind of nice because going into the preseason, not really knowing what we were going to do, it was definitely a question mark for us, and I feel as though those 4 girls put us in a situation where, we're going to be able to defend well.
Let's bring on the 2 student athletes now. Katie Green is going to join us. She's a senior with a 3.4 grade point average. Go ahead and pick up the microphone. Make sure that switch is turned on there, Katie. And the 2014 Sportsmanship Award. Let's talk a little bit about that and the importance of that being recognized by your peers in that honor.
I feel that one of the most important things on this team is how close we are and how much it means to us and how we treat each other. And I think we can take more away from that than just even the soccer. And I feel like winning that award was a big deal because that meant that I wasn't only a good soccer player, but also I was just a good person.
Absolutely. No doubt about that, Katie. And I know that the team concept is what Coach emphasizes, but also an all-conference DAC performer, an all-area first-team performer with the Post-Tribune. How cool is that to be recognized for your efforts in what is one of the top conferences, not only in Northwest Indiana, but in the state?
It's pretty good, and I think the best part of all of it was, I felt as though the Sportsmanship Award was the biggest just because I felt that was really my goal, is just to be a good person and to do good things for this team. And I feel as though with all those awards, I achieved both goals.
So also on the debate team, does that help you communicate a little bit with your teammates out there?
It really does. It helps to show, to say things nicer, I guess is a good way to put it.
To be able to get your point across in a nice way, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring on Kaylee Lindahl is going to join us right now. And Kaylee, congratulations. 4.4 GPA, rated 24th in the class. How are you able to juggle all the responsibilities that the teachers put on you, that Coach Conway puts on you, as well as some of the other organizations that you're involved and be successful at everything?
It gets pretty difficult at times to juggle school sports, all of that, especially during soccer season. There's some late nights where I don't get to bed until about 2 or so, finishing all my homework. But after soccer season, it kind of calms down a bit, so I just try my best to balance it.
How did playing for the Eclipse Select Soccer Club help you prepare for the upcoming soccer season?
It's a really great club with great coaches, and the club director is really great. That's actually where I met my future college coach, and that's kind of how I got recruited, so it helped me a lot with that.
Offensive MVP of this particular team as well. What is it like being the marked person out there? A lot of times stoppers are out there. They're going to try to kind of take you off your game, maybe get a little bit physical there in the offensive third, and how are you able to handle that adversity?
Well, when I'm man-marked, I can always count on Des and Katie to step up and kind of help me out. And I know, if I have somebody on me, that one of them is always open, so I just look to play the ball to them as quick as I can.
So the loss to Valparaiso, how can you guys use that as a motivating factor coming into 2015 in a very tough conference? And not only that, but also your non-conference schedule with heading out east as well early.
Well, it's always in the back of our mind at training, and especially when we're conditioning. We always think about why we're running. I always think we're running to win sectionals. That's what I think about.
And, Coach, coming in now at the second season, what did you learn in your inaugural campaign, and what do you feel you can improve on, and also maybe some of the things that helped you along the way to become a better coach to these kids?
Just the team chemistry aspect of the team is so important, and I think that if the girls are working together and they believe in one another, I think that the successes that we can have are endless, and that's hugely important. Obviously, we set goals. There's things that we want to accomplish, and just because you accomplish one goal, for example, win the conference, we can't just rest on that and say, well, that means that we're going to accomplish our other goals that we have. And so, it's staying focused, making sure that we are constantly aware of what our goals are, and we have those in the forefront of our minds. I think that is something that's going to be definitely important as we move forward.
Always appreciate you taking the time and coming out, Coach. Ladies, thank you very much for coming out. Continued success both in the classroom and on the field, and we'll see you guys down the road.
All right, thank you.
Jason Conway, along with the Lady Trojans, joining us here as they will be heading over to the South Bend area for that tournament out there in the South Bend, St. Joseph's area in the early part of the season. season, as well as some other conference foes. And our friends at Winey Insurance Agency are celebrating their 35th anniversary of serving Northwest Indiana's insurance needs. A family-owned and operated business, Winey Insurance offers coverage for auto, health, life, business, and more. They're conveniently located at 762 South Calumet Road in Chesterton. Winey Insurance is the region's #1 leader in friendly and prompt service. Call Winey Insurance today at 219-926-3431. That's 219-926-3431. We're going to move back to the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference on the girls' side of things. We're going to bring on Jim Schmidt, the head coach of the Hebron Hawks. 12th year now at the head of the Hebron program. Graduate of Boone Grove High School, assisted by Richard Botts, along with Bill Paskus. And Jim, let's talk a little bit about the numbers, how the preseason training has been going for the Hawks here heading into the new year.
Well, this summer we had probably the best summer we've had in quite a while as far as participation goes. I think we're definitely more ready than we have been in the past. Of course, always the biggest deal coming into every season is the health of everybody. So,
right.
Bad knees, bad backs, and whatnot. So if we can fight our way through those and stay healthy, I think we're in for looking for consistency. We were inconsistent last year, looking for more consistency coming into this year. So, but we had a great summer. I'm hoping that this builds into an even better summer next year. So
9-8-0 overall, 3-2 in the PCC, 3-4 in the NWISC last year. Some key losses, obviously, between the pipes is the big concern with Katie Vaughn moving on. She had 87 saves last year. Also a void in the middle with Darren Torres and Alyssa Doing as well. So let's talk about the loss of those three and how you're going to be able to fill those roles.
Well, at keeper we got Shannon Schultz, who's going to be coming in to fill that spot. She's worked really hard this summer to get ready. I think we're way ahead at the keeper position coming into this season than we were last year. So I'm looking for good things from the very beginning of this season.
What are some of the things as a coach that are the most difficult thing to teach a keeper?
Well, I would say footwork. You know, they want to stand there and catch the ball a lot. Moving laterally across the goal mouth, and we're going to be working on that a lot, actually.
Coming out, staying put,
yes,
those kind of things.
Yes,
no doubt about that. Well, the cupboard certainly isn't bare. You've got three PCC all-conference performers that are going to be coming back, and it appears to be a team that really has a lot of balance offensively.
Yes, we had a very balanced attack last year, and 90% of our scoring is returning this year. So I hope to continue that trend where we have a lot of balanced scoring and are able to improve on our numbers from last year.
Is that a function of the system that you run? Is it the kids just working together, knowing where each other are in the fields, or kind of a combination of both?
I think it's the kids working together and knowing each other so well. Most of our scoring comes from our junior class, and they've just played together for so many years, and I think the chemistry there definitely shows itself on the field.
Let's introduce the three student athletes to my immediate right, and why you selected them to represent Hebron High School here this afternoon.
Well, unfortunately, my seniors that I originally had selected had activities going on this weekend, so they couldn't make it. So these are my three junior leaders, and that's why I chose them. They've obviously, all three of them have been all conference, second team or first team, both their freshman and sophomore campaigns, and that's why they're here.
And they're all slackers in the classroom, I see.
yeah, all three of them do very well.
Well, let's bring on Brittany Botts. So first of all, second in her class, 4.3 GPA as a junior, first team all-conference. And Brittany, talk a little bit about the importance of the academic side of things. Obviously, rated second in your class, that's a huge honor.
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad has always taught me ever since I was little that school was always important, and it's my number one. So I have to do good in school to play soccer. So I got to stay up there. I have to have straight A's. So it's a pretty strict, I guess, schedule kind of thing, but it works for me, and I love school. So I don't have a problem with it.
A labor of love, as they say, right?
Yeah.
What's the academic Super Bowl about? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh, that's where you compete between all schools around the region, and you do different categories. There's a math category, history, and so I do most of the art category, and I compete and answer questions, getting points, and it's kind of just within the state, so it's a good learning experience.
I know you certainly come from a soccer family, and let's talk a little bit about that dinner table talk. Does soccer ever creep in there a little bit once in a while?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yes, of course.
Could have done this better, could have done that better, maybe, or I did this good.
Yeah, Richie has made me definitely a better player. That's how skilled I am with my footwork. That's all been him teaching me and going outside with me and working just every day. We go out there and we just kick the ball around, and it makes me definitely a better player.
Let's talk about Coach here a little bit, because he kind of took this program from the infancy and has built this thing up now, and now you guys you get conference recognition being in the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference. Of course, a lot of recognition from the old Porter County Conference, but your thoughts now, you started off with this program as a youngster, and now you moved on as a junior. How you see this program progressing and where it could go?
I think it's going to keep progressing. I don't think it's ever going to decline. We're getting more growth in numbers now. We're getting more participation than we ever have before. So I think that's just a good key sign that this is working, and it's improving, and it's growing, and it's escalating very well.
Let's bring on Sarah right now. Sarah Paskus is going to join us here, so pick up the microphone and make sure that switch is flipped on over there. Also in the top 10 of her class with a 4.1 second team all-conference. Let's talk about the Golden Boot freshman and that situation, what that was all about.
Well, I had the most goals freshman year, and it was really big as getting that as a freshman, because it kind of shows how good you are and everything, and how you'll progress as you go on through the years.
What was that like coming in and participating and being able to perform on the varsity level against older student athletes that may have had a little bit more experience than you did?
It was good. I've been playing soccer for a long time, so I was used to the competitiveness throughout my life pretty much. So
what are you going to have to work on, Sarah, individually this year, skill set wise, as well as maybe the mental aspect of the game, knowing where you want to be in the right place at the right time as you head into your junior year?
Probably just working on conditioning and working well with my team, because once you work well with your team, you guys all move together. You move.
Multiple sport athlete, how does track help you on the pitch?
It helps me with conditioning, since we run a lot in track, so it keeps me up to date on my conditioning throughout the year.
Let's bring in
Mariah.
I'm sorry. Mariah Wilson. Thank you, Mariah. Appreciate that. Honors English, college prep, doing a great job as well, rated 24th in your class as well. And Mariah, let's talk about some of those losses last year, those tight losses that you had not only in the regular season but in the tournament. What do you feel are some of the areas that the Hawks can improve on to possibly turn some of those losses into wins?
Well, most definitely teamwork, for one. We didn't work well together, but I think this year, we're already starting off really good, so I feel like we're definitely going to be more advanced with teamwork and, passing, because, I'd say, they're more individual, but now we're team, we're progressing in that, so I think that'll definitely help with the whole loss subject.
Your thoughts on the PCC? It certainly seems to be improving a lot. Couts has got great things happening over there. Boone Grove is an established program. Heben are starting to come up right now as well. So the PCC certainly seems to be on the uprise as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going for it this year, So.
What about you personally this year? What have you worked on in the off season, and what do you see now as you've gone through the preseason conditioning and some of the drills that coaches put you in? What are you going to have to do to work to improve?
Well, I definitely have to work on conditioning and getting back in shape, because recently I had a knee injury, so I've been out for almost 6 months, but I'm just now getting back into it, so got to catch up with the team with running and dribbling and all that. So I'm getting there slowly, but surely. So.
How difficult has that been for you to kind of be on the sideline and not participate with your classmates?
It was definitely hard, because I always do indoor here actually, and I didn't get to do that. And then my Revolution team, I couldn't play with them, so that was definitely tough. But getting back into it feels really good. So.
Well, Coach, you certainly have things well in hand here with this junior class as well as in your seniors. As you take a look at the schedule, it's certainly got its challenges. You start right off the get-go with Wheeler with a conference game, and then you have Boone Grove. So the 2015 season for the Hebron Hawks will be successful if. Fill in the blank for me.
Well, it's like I always tell the girls, half our schedule is good competition. It gets us ready. The other half defines us as a team, and it's how well we do against that half that defines us as a team, how the season's going to go. We struggled against those 8 teams last year, and if obviously our schedule's kind of front-end loaded with some really good teams, we just have to get off to a real quick start and be playing our best from the get-go, and that's what we're really focusing on, conditioning this year like we never have before. So Wheeler always comes hard. I mean, they're always ready and they're always fit, and that's been a struggle for us the last couple of years.
Jim, thanks very much for everything. Ladies, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you
Best
so
of luck
much.
this season. The Hebron Hawks have joined us here, and we're looking forward to keeping up with them throughout the season here on our website at rrsn.com and Regional Radio Sports. And we are going to move now to the undefeated and all the way through the regionals. Last season, the Chesterton Trojans and Jamie Sensabaugh are going to join us here. And again, we want to thank our good friends over at the Winey Insurance Agency. They're celebrating their 35th anniversary of serving Northwest Indiana's insurance needs. They're a family-owned and operated business. Winey Insurance offers coverage for auto, health, life, business, and more. They're conveniently located at 762 South Calumet Road in Chesterton. Winey Insurance is the region's #1 leader in friendly and prompt service. Call Winey Insurance today, 219-926-3431. That's 219-926-3431. You can also visit them on the web at wineyinsurance.com. Jamie Sensabaugh, the head coach of the Chesterton Trojans, is going to join us here on the 21st annual installment here of the Northwest Indiana Soccer Kickoff Classic. And, Coach, congratulations on a great year last year, undefeated all the way through, regional champions, making it to the semi-state. And I know the season did not end the way that you and the kids wanted it to, but certainly didn't get lost on you and the community. Just what a great group of kids this was.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Definitely a very enjoyable season. Certainly did not end the way we would have liked it, but it doesn't end very well for most teams. So
only one team's
there's only
happy
one,
at the end. Yeah.
We're always talking about wanting to be that team that walks off the field without having lost in the postseason, but it didn't work out that way. But I couldn't be any more proud of the team that we had and the work. More importantly, the work they put in. And the kind of season that we had. So, and then they were all quality, good character kids, and that certainly makes it all also enjoyable.
Coach, you look at the time you've spent as a head coach. Congratulations on reaching the 150 mark plateau in your career record. What does that mean to you personally and some of your personal goals as a head coach?
Well, I think that's a reflection on the kind of community we have at Chesterton, the support we have among our parents and the culture. Kids get out and they play and they work hard, and I've been blessed to have great assistants and just all of that conspired to make me look good, I guess, but it's totally an effort based upon all of those things I just described. So hopefully we can add a little bit more to that, but we'll see.
Great group of kids moving on, and of course also moving on to play at the next level or else pursuing their academics, as Billy Beal is going to be over at Valparaiso with the Crusaders, Jared Odell down at IUPUI, Jason Garmany, Dayton Ringus, a solid defender, Travis Brooks, Adam Whitlow moving down to Bloomington over at Indiana University. How proud does that make you to see these kids go to the next level, whether it is playing the sport they love or else pursuing their academic interest?
Well, obviously as a professional educator, we try to emphasize academics with our kids, and we before every game we're in a cafeteria and there's a study table and the kids are sitting there. Most of them are working on their homework. That's important, and they know that. There's very few of them that they might be able to get some kind of monies to go to college playing soccer, but most of them, they know that being a good student is going to be their ticket to a much better career, and I always joke maybe someday they'll own a soccer team rather than play on one. So anyway, that as a coach and as an educator, I'm certainly very proud of our overall team GPA, not just last year, but really every year. We have good students at Chesterton High School.
Well, word is that there's a lot of competition in camp, a lot of spots being fought over here. So let's take a look besides Owen and Jameson here. Let's take a look at some of the other kids that are going to be challenging. Let's start off with that very important position between the pipes.
Well, we have 3 young men who are competing with one another. Hunter Warren is somebody that's been with us for the last couple of years. Bailey Mathis and Ethan Conway. So they are all working hard, and no decision's been made. This summer we had a really successful summer once again. Went and played throughout Fort Wayne area and Shipshewana, and I just kind of rotated them in and out. So I think that's both a reflection of the fact that they're not bad themselves, but also we have pretty good team defense in front of them, so that's going to help.
What are some of the things you look for in a keeper from a character's perspective as well as from a skill set? Obviously, they got to know when to come in, when to stay in, when to come out, how they communicate with their teammates. The 3 probably have strengths in certain areas and weaknesses in others.
Actually, they have more strengths that benefit the kind of style that we like to play, whereas with last year, the keeper that we had, there were some things that we had to try to avoid, or some things we had to try to do because he had his strengths and we knew what those were, thankfully, and that helped us as a team. But I think overall, in the things that we're going to be good at, having a keeper that can come off of his line, keeper that can win things and be dominant, balls in the air, all 3 of these guys seem to be, can carry the length of the field with a kick. That's a thing that we look at. But you asked about it. Most important thing for me would be experience. That's not something we have the luxury of having, honestly. I would like to have a 45-year-old goalkeeper out there that's been doing it for a long time, because I think that's when they get, seasoned. It's all about experience. So, that's one of the things that we have to grow them up quick when it comes to that position.
Let's talk about the midfield, because obviously those are the voids here with Billy Jarrett and Jason Garmany gone. So I would imagine the competition is fierce and very competitive here as you head into the season.
Yeah, it is competitive. We like to think that our practices and the positions that we are giving as opportunities for kids to have, they're competing against other players for. Jameson more than likely is going to be in our midfield right now. Last year, I guess both as a coach and as a parent, he played pretty much 90% of the season on a torn meniscus, so he wasn't quite the same player, and that's healed, and he looks so much better there, and I think he's going to be very helpful there in that position. And then we have a couple of other young men that Derek Odell, who might spell Noah Brickley in that position. So we have the players that we can put there that I know will do a good job. It's just, again, a matter of finding out who's going to be ultimately the best in that position. So
let's bring on Jamison Sensabaugh right now, all DAC performer last year, also played for 3 Lions for Coach Hankins and member of the National Honor Society. And Jamison, first of all, how's the health doing? How are you feeling this year? And let's talk about the position change that Coach and Dad is going to expect from you this year.
First of all, this is on, right?
Yeah, you got to flip that.
Flip it
out
there.
National Honor Society.
Well, I'm feeling very good health-wise, which is encouraging because last season, as you said, I was never really 100%. So hopefully that'll help a lot. It should, at least. Position-wise, center mid's been something I've played most of my career as a soccer player, so I feel pretty comfortable there, and I'm hopefully going to be able to fill positions that were lost with Jared and Billy, who are 2 excellent midfielders. So I'm just going to look to do what I can and be the best player I can there.
Well, Jamison, this is certainly not unprecedented. This goes back to Vangel Nikovsky, when Coach Pass brought him from a striker position to an offensive mid, and he was able to see the field a lot better and be able to see his teammates a lot better and actually flourished doing that. Let's talk a little bit about that viewpoint that you have now being in that position.
Yeah, well, having experience up top last year helps me I have a better idea of where my strikers will be going, what kind of runs they'll be making. So like you said, I'll have better field vision, and I should be able to anticipate the runs they make better. and as a whole, just perform with better knowledge base of what I should be doing.
What's it like playing for Dad?
Well, I've grown up with the program, always been there, so it's not anything new. I've seen how he coaches, and we work well together for the most part. He pushes me to get better for sure, and it's enjoyable having him there. So.
Let's bring on Owen Hallis right now. Owen also doing a great job in the classroom with a 3.66. Multiple sport athletes staying busy all year with baseball, and the Rookie of the Year is sophomore year. And Owen, talk about baseball and how it helps you to stay in shape, and maybe also helps you a little bit with the hand-eye coordination too.
Yeah, it's nice to have two different sports, but it's also hard to juggle them sometimes. I mean, I do have to miss something here and there for soccer, but I try to make as much as I can, and it's hard to give one of them up, so I'm trying to play both of them as long as I can. It's really just a lot of fun.
What was it like being the youngster in the midfield last year with all that senior leadership and trying to live up to those expectations?
Well, I try to play as hard as I can every moment of the game, but those guys definitely helped me a lot. There's a lot of great leaders last year. They really helped me a lot.
Talk about the experience of going to the semi-state and competing against the eventual state champion, and what did you learn from that experience?
It helps me a lot. It helps me there's no getting used to experience like this year. I can just go right into it. I have a lot more confidence. I'm used to it, used to the coaching, how we play, and all the returning players.
What are some personal goals for you as you head into your junior year? And also team goals for that matter.
Well, team, I want to win every game. I want to win state. That's what it's all about. So personal goals, those will come, but I'm more worried about the team right now.
Well, I know that's something you answer here, Coach. No doubt about that. The schedule, as usual, always sets up very well for competition for the Chesterton Trojans. You got a away game down at West Lafayette against the Red Devils, also playing the Avon Orioles as well in the early going. Let's talk about the schedule and also that little team out there in Fort Wayne, the Cavaliers.
Yeah, and I was telling Scott we picked up Harrison as well, so the semi-state team last year. So we're trying to strengthen the schedule. It's always a hit and miss. Sometimes you catch somebody after they've already had their success and maybe they're trying to rebuild, but those are programs that typically are good year in and year out, so we hope to keep them on our schedule, and that's going to be obviously helpful and have us battle tested come postseason. And that's it's people don't realize going undefeated last year, that's not easy in soccer, and I'm not saying necessarily from being a good soccer team standpoint, from a psychological standpoint, having that monkey on your back, and
being number one in the state.
There's a lot that goes along with that, and we had to do a lot to try to just keep kids focused, and for the most part they were very good at that, but it was not easy. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to lose. No coach wants to lose, but to get that monkey off our back early would be okay with me.
Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit, about the fact because of that disappointment, you don't want to lose the fact that you had such a successful first 20 games of the year.
Many very valuable teaching moments come from a timely loss. You definitely get everybody's attention. So, we're looking to be pretty good. I like our chances. I like that schedule, and it definitely is going to tell us who we are. But we really don't go into a season thinking just wins and losses. So, it's getting better. The cliche, it's true. We try to get better from game to game, from practice to practice. Try to be playing our best soccer toward the end of the season.
Continued success, Coach, and thanks very much for the time.
I appreciate
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it very much. Chesterton Trojans, 20-1 last season, the regional champions here as they continue to try to improve and get to the next level in the tournament. And it won't be easy with that schedule, Adam, especially with those games on the road. There's some tough ones there.
Well, and the nice thing about it, Mike, is Coach just mentioned it, those timely losses and the lessons that they learn from. They're going to have a target on their back all season long. Being the defending Dunan Athletic Conference champs, winning their first 20 games last year, only losing to the eventual state champs in Goshen. So lots to learn, but a lot of interesting and exciting dynamics to the Chesterton Trojan season next year.
Well, the hits to RRSN.com have just spiked. They've gone through the roof because Brian Pass from the Maryville Pirates is here, kind of a standing joke between me and Coach. And Coach also does color commentary with us on the games, and we always joke that our ratings go up every time we bring him on with us. But, Coach, how you doing?
All right, Mike. I really appreciate all the compliments there. And, again, it's always a pleasure for me at the end of the season working with you. As I said, you're the best in the area, best in the state. That's why you're a Hall of Famer. So,
well, thank you, Brian.
But, again, I got to thank you because you do a great job for all these kids, not just our school, but all these schools, and getting notoriety out there, and we really appreciate it. But season, I'll tell you what, it's been an interesting preseason for us. We graduated 16 guys, and so we literally only have 3 returning guys that had any varsity experience whatsoever. The hardest part, of course, is filling the shoes of Bradley Brack.
Yes.
One of the
Congratulations to him, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he's a fantastic goalkeeper, one of the best I've ever had. I always say, I think now I can say I have a Mount Rushmore of goalkeepers. I got Peter Brazovan back from the Final Four days. Of course, Jeff Jelenic, who is one of our assistant coaches now, and he went on to play in college and was an All-American in college, and then Bradley and his older brother Brandon. So I can feel. Plus, I don't get anyone mad when I say it's a Mount Rushmore. So, but yeah, Bradley was first team All-State, which was a great honor. Only 2 goalkeepers in the state get that honor, and now he's going to be playing at Valparaiso University. So that's great for us. We get to go watch him play, and it's great for him because gets a fantastic education, and hopefully down the line here he'll be one of the premier goalkeepers in college. But yeah, it's tough. We're kind of starting from scratch, but we've had a great summer. We went to IPFW. We've gone there for about a decade now, and Coach Harper runs a great camp. Chesterton, you just spoke with, they were there too. LaPorte, you spoke with a little bit earlier, they were there from the region. And it's a great bonding experience for our guys, and we're there for 4 days, 3 nights. Got a lot of soccer in, playing Fort Wayne teams at night, teams like Harrison High School out of the Lafayette area, McCutcheon out of the Lafayette area, Fishers. So just some great competition beside Chesterton and LaPorte, of course. We played some good little scrimmage games, played Hobart, played Highland, played Wheeler, and so our guys got some great experience. And so now we've had a sophomore step up, and he actually didn't play goalie last year. He's a freshman field player, and he goes, Coach, I'll try goalkeeper, and he's pretty athletic. His name is Alex Navarro, and as of right now, he's going to be our starting varsity keeper. So it's definitely going to be a learning process for him. There's going to be a large curve for what he needs to learn, but we feel confident that by the end of the year, he's going to make us pretty competitive.
You know, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you're playing all the time. The kids don't really get a chance to kind of decompress, but in your situation with all those youngsters, including these 2 guys to your right, it probably was a blessing in disguise there.
It really was, and again, it really, last year with the team that we had, we just kind of were fine-tuning, okay, who's going to play where. Here, we just had to see who could play, period. And I got to hand it to 2 guys to my right here, Oscar Hernandez and Mikey De La Pena. These guys were 2 or 3 guys, along with Jorge Osoria, who had major varsity minutes last year. And it would have been real easy for these guys to kind of hang their head and go, oh, woe is me, all those guys left. And, we got some young guys but I'll tell you what, these guys have been great. They've been great teachers themselves. And they work with the young guys when the young guys make mistakes. And as young guys do, they do. But they're very encouraging. And they work with our guys. Both of these guys are going to play midfield for us. And the best thing for them is they're great at possession. And these 2 guys, we always talk about playing soccer, but also having a high soccer IQ. And both these guys have a great soccer IQ.
Let's bring in Mikey De La Pena right now. He's a junior, a multiple sport athlete, playing wrestling as well as track and soccer. And Mikey, talk about that experience. I know obviously the Crown Point game didn't end the way you wanted to in the playoffs there, but to go toe-to-toe with them for the full 80 and then the next 15 or 14 and then get into the shootout, what was that experience like going through that, and how do you think that's going to help you coming into this year? Flip that switch right there on the front there. There you go.
Well, for me, it felt like, obviously I felt a little bit saddened because all my close teammates and friends left after that. But I know that it just gave me more of a desire to, want to get better, want to get, improve myself from that. So, if that comes down to that ever again, I'll be able to step up to the plate and be able to take a shot.
Well, playing in a shootout has got to be a walk in the park for you, considering you're a two-time regional wrestling champion and also a state qualifier in wrestling. Talk about that sport and the intensity that goes into that when you're mano-on-mano against somebody and how that translates to the game of soccer.
Well, I know I'm a lot tougher than some of the guys because, I have a tough wrestling room, so it's just going to make me tough. And then I kind of put that out in the field. If I get knocked down, I don't really get mad about it. I just, all right, get the ball, keep playing. And sometimes if the ref does call it, it's whatever. But I like to think about it is that, I could be the hardest working guy on the team, if not, because that's what wrestling has taught me.
Let's break past the mic over to Oscar Hernandez as well. And Oscar, talk about what Coach just said about you guys picking the mantle up after losing all that senior leadership. That certainly has to make you two guys feel good about what you do to help motivate the younger kids and keep the program moving in a positive direction.
Well, yeah, because last year for the 16 seniors, they were like mentors to us since we were the young ones on the team and they were all seniors, and they helped us develop to the level of their playing skills, give us advice. And that's what we're trying to bring to the young guys, to help, give them a little help, a hand when they're, when they're doing stuff wrong, or like give them advice instead of doing this, do that, help them out. But it was, when I was thinking about it, it's tough, but then again, there's nothing we could do but try to go for a good season and try to work with them.
Now, what was it like as a sophomore going through not only the Duneland Athletic Conference, but I know Coach doesn't shy away from comers when it comes to non-conference schedule. You guys are down at the Hoosier Cup. You're moving all around the state, playing a lot of the top competition in the state. What was that like going through that experience as a sophomore?
Oh, it was a great experience, especially at my young age. It gives me build up confidence for this coming year. But playing last year against great teams in the Duneland Conference, of course, probably to me one of the hardest conferences in the state of Indiana. But then, so it gives me confidence for this coming up season. So I know what to expect for this upcoming team, for the upcoming tournament at the Hoosier Cup. So, we went down there. We won the Hoosier Cup in our division, defending champs, and that's going to be the first goal set for our season to come. Not only to win the first game of our season, but to also go down and win the Hoosier Cup and try to become back-to-back champions.
Well, I certainly understand why you picked these two guys to be with you, Coach. They certainly are well-spoken, and they definitely know the Maryville way.
Yes,
and I know that's what you're looking for with student-athletes. Besides these two, who else has been kind of opening eyes for you as we give you a wrap-up?
Well, I mentioned him a little bit earlier, Jorge Soria. He's actually our leading goal scorer last year, and so we're looking, with these two guys in the midfield, they're going to feed Jorge a lot, try to find him. We also have Adrian Rodriguez, and he was a junior last year, senior this year, and now his time has kind of come. Yep. And we're really kind of high. We have a sophomore, Jorge Gaona, and he's really kind of surprised us. We knew he was going to be a good player, but he has some great speed, and in a lot of our scrimmage games, he's been showing us his ability to score, and so we're real high on him back there. We got some guys in the back. Eddie Valdez is probably going to take over sweeper for us, and that's always a key position for me. He's going to have to work back there with our young goalkeeper. We got a guy named Brian Barron who's a senior, and he was a floater last year, and so he didn't get a lot of minutes on varsity, but he understands what we're shooting for. So we're looking for him to kind of also be a leader on the team. And as I said, we got a couple other young guys. Tomas Rodriguez really came out at the end of the season and made the sectional team last year, and he'll be a great defender for us, as well as Victor Gutierrez. He'll probably get the stopper position for us. So as I said, the best part is we kind of broke in varsity and JV today and this morning, and we had a kind of a scrimmage game. And one of the things we told our JV is, we're because we lost so many seniors, we're a little low on numbers this year, and so our varsity right now is only about at 14 or 15. And so we said, hey, everything's fluid, nothing's in concrete. Your name may be on that JV roster right now, but you put together 2 or 3 good games, or we're going to definitely bring some of them along with us when we go to the Hoosier Cup. And I said, you may come back from the Hoosier Cup and never see JV again. You may become a varsity member full time. So hopefully it gets those JV guys hungry, and some of them may be coming up and helping us hopefully come postseason.
Always enjoy the time, Coach.
Michael,
very much.
Hey, thanks so much.
Thanks for all your support over the years, guys. Thanks for taking the time and coming out. We greatly appreciate it, and continued success, Coach.
All right. Hopefully, I definitely look forward to seeing you along the season. So
sounds good.
All right. Take care.
Brian Pass, the head coach of the Maryville Pirates, is going to join us, and we are going to be taking a break as we're going to have to archive segment number 2 here on rrsn.com. But before we do that, again, we want to recognize our corporate partner, that being Calumet College of St. Joseph. You can check them out on the web at ccsj.edu. Again, special thanks go out to JJ's Pizza Shack for great tasting pizza. You can call them for delivery at 219-476-1616. Winey Insurance, also the sponsor of our Chesterton boys and girls soccer segments. And, of course, Hallmark Sports Club 2 here in Holbert and Maryville. Scott Hankins, Jason Kandera, and the rest of the staff doing a great job of hosting our 21st annual installment of Hoosier hysteria, so to speak, on the pitch. So your screen is going to go blank here for a couple minutes, so make sure you reload it back here. We'll be back with the third and final segment here of our 21st annual Boys and Girls Soccer Northwest Indiana Kickoff Classic, live here from Hallmark Sports Club 2 on rrsn.com and Regional Radio Sports.